Should you wait until you can afford your dream home before you buy one? Or should you start building equity with a condo first? It depends. But if you're paying more than $3,000 a month in rent right now, I'd love to give you a realistic perspective on the options that you have in front of you. Let's dive into it. So let's talk about those hidden costs of waiting. And there's actually two of them. The first one, though, is the most popular and I think known term, which is the equity. You're missing out on this equity because the homes are appreciating. But another one that folks don't quite dig into as much is the amortization. Well, what is the amortization? That is the difference of what is being paid down on your loan balance every month that you pay your mortgage. So not only do you have your home equity potentially appreciating, but you also are creating even more equity in your home as you're paying down your loan balance with amortization working on your side. So how that looks in a flat market is you can still gain equity even if your home never appreciates or goes up in value because you're slowly paying down your loan balance and creating equity by that loan balance decreasing. So, for a renter that's paying $3,500 a month, that's $42,000 a year that they're giving to somebody else to live in a home, but they don't have any equity in it. They're not paying down their own mortgage. So, this home continues to appreciate, and they're not seeing any benefit in return. So, let's say you're going to wait 2 years before you can save up to buy that dream home. Not only will prices likely go up during that 2 year period, but interest rates will also fluctuate and potentially the lending guidelines or the underwriting guidelines that we have to abide by when qualifying for a home. But also during that period, you're going to be spending over $80,000 in rent while somebody else is building equity. Now, depending on who you ask, you are going to find a multitude of opinions regarding condos. Not only the style of the condo, whether it's going to be an apartment type style condo or no, you need to have a townhouse style condo with direct access to your garage. Those opinions are going to be endless. But then on top of that, as far as dealing with the association and there's HOA dues and all these other things. Now, there's pros and cons to both sides, right? And buying a condo is not necessarily like a consolation prize. And while there's plenty of negative opinions and maybe why you shouldn't buy one from whomever you're going to ask, there's plenty of positive ones as well. And one of the main things is that it really can be a launchpad into homeownership. It can help you get into homeownership sooner, which helps you get into the market sooner to help gain equity sooner, to also then start benefiting from being a homeowner on your income taxes, being able to write off that mortgage interest and also your property taxes and then potentially any mortgage insurance if you had less than 20% down, all while still not only building up the appreciation in your equity, but also increasing that equity by having that amortization of paying down your loan balance also working in your favor. And all while you're able to find a space that will fit your lifestyle needs, because that's what we live in. We live inside the space, which while it's a condo, it still has bedrooms, it still has bathrooms, it still has a nice kitchen, it's still going to have some place to park, just like a single family home would. And now here's the thing, a well-chosen condo in the right location can be just as competitive as a single family home when it comes time to sell or potentially rent out later. Now, there's other perks that condos provide that I think is a great transition from being a renter and transitioning into homeownership in their amenities that they provide. So whether that's going to be a gated community, or maybe they'll have a pool that you don't have to have a pool man for because the HOA dues will take care of cleaning the pool. Or maybe there's a clubhouse or a gym or even a green belt. Like there's different complexes have different amenities, but it's great that the HOA dues or the homeowner association dues help to share the cost of managing those things. Where when you have a single family home that has a lawn or it has a pool and it has all those utilities, they're not included in anything. You got to pay the pool guy, you got to pay the gardener, you have to pay your own separate utilities. Where with a condo complex, there's sometimes where those homeowner association dues may include the trash bill or the water bill. So they're all differ, but it's definitely a perk. Now, before I wrap up, there are just three concerns that I want to address that are pretty common when I talk to buyers about considering a condo versus a single family home. And the first one is, well, what if I regret buying the condo? What if I don't get along with my neighbors? Or what if the HOA management company is, challenging to deal with? Well, there's no guarantee that you're going to love your neighbors in a single family home neighborhood because a lot of times we don't know who they are until we move in. So that's not really going to be different whether it's a single family home or a condo. But as far as the management for the HOA, yes, that can still be a little challenging. But you have to deal with that as a renter. You have to deal with a management company. You don't get to choose who the management company is at your apartment. And that can also change depending on what the owners of your property or your building also want to do. So it then comes down to, will you regret being able to build equity? Even if you lived in that condo for a year and you're like, this is terrible, I want to move, more than likely you're going to at least have built a little bit of equity. And so there's still a benefit there versus if you were to then go rent another place and then not like it and want to move again. You wouldn't have anything that was gained in that situation. Another thing is, yeah, well, but what about the HOA fees? Well, yes, there's going to be a cost of having a homeowner association and, for the amenities that they provide. But then it's, well, what amenities are they providing? If they have a gym, does that mean you can cancel your gym membership? If they are, going to pay for water, well, at least you get to take nice long baths. There's going to be things that yes, you're going to have those HOA costs, but they can be built in and structured into the numbers because what's nice about having those HOA costs is that we actually have to make sure that they are affordable and still work within like the loan parameters and your debt to income ratios when we're looking at qualifying. Where when it comes to buying a single family home, we don't take any utility costs into consideration. I mean, except for solar, if we're going to consider that, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. And last, but certainly not least, is now even a good time to buy? Well, I wish I had a crystal ball to tell you yes or no, but I don't. But I can tell you from my experience that there have been two times in my life that I have purchased homes. And both times my husband and I paid over asking. And both times we were chasing the market. And while it wasn't a whole lot over asking or relative to, maybe who you'd ask, both times within a year, the market had appreciated to offset whatever it was that we were paying over asking. And we now have a good amount of equity in both of those properties because we were living in the payment. Could we afford this monthly? Because the cost or the equity or the appreciation that's in the home matters when you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance. Otherwise, it's that monthly payment, and we had to pay to live somewhere. And so for us, the condo made sense as our very first purchase, even though we were chasing the market. So you just have to determine for yourself, is that going to be what makes the most sense for you in today's market? So should you wait to buy that dream home or start building wealth with a condo? As you can see, there is no one size fits all answer, but either way, I'd love to help you figure out what's right for you. All of my contact information is below, and I would love to have a 15-minute conversation with you to find out what's the best next steps for your situation. My name's Amber Jones, and I help buyers just like you feel informed, empowered, and ready to take those confident next steps. Whether it's a condo today or a house tomorrow, I want to be along for that entire homeownership journey. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tell a friend if you found this information helpful. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.